yesterday. I watched the trailer for Flintlock, the Siege of Dawn. Now I'm about to watch some gameplay of it. It's like some gameplay analysis, basically, of it. You feel me? And yeah,
A preview for Flintlock: The Siege of Dawn, we saw a 15-minute gameplay walkthrough of the upcoming open-world action
this game
RPG.
looks like it's gonna be
It's
fire
looking
though.
like developer A44 Games is building upon its debut title, Ashen, to bring an even heavier focus to fast-paced combat while still supporting its style of a cooperative-focused, Souls-like experience. Here are 9 things we learned about Flintlock during the preview. Multiple versions of these attacks. They're still worth doing though, because when it comes to these more powerful targets, Nor can use this execution attack to rip away an enemy's literal armor, like a shield or breastplate, that makes them more vulnerable to her
I
attacks.
also don't know if you
In
can
Flintlock, an
control
enemy's
that
armor meter
cat
begins to
thing.
deplete if you back off, encouraging you to be aggressive in combat and rely on parries and dodges instead of blocks. In combat, you can control Nor's companion, Inky, to
You
stun
can
enemies and
control it.
stop their armor
Inky.
meter from depleting, but it looks like you can only do this to one enemy at a time. Nor has armor too.
That's
Powerful
fine.
attacks like unblockable attacks that are symbolized by a red aura can cut into that armor and damage it. Once it's
Okay.
broken, Nor takes increased
Yeah,
damage from enemy
the
attacks.
red is basically
Thankfully,
like
there's a way to replenish Nor's armor,
Sekiro.
which leads us into our next point.
God of War. I
How
didn't even
Nor
play
finishes
that
off
game.
a foe will determine
I might
what
play it.
sort of
I
resources
might play the first
she
one
gets
and
for
the
the kill. Both your
new one that's
armor
about to
and
come
bullets
out
are limited,
at the same
and you'll
time.
need to kill enemies to replenish your stores in both. Finishing off an enemy with Nor's axe replenishes her bullets, while executing them with a firearm fixes her armor. In order to remain at full strength, you'll have to mix up your
that
combat
moves.
style and finish off groups of enemies with both your blade and your bullets. What looks like Nor is going to hold onto her trusty axe for most of the game, she can unlock and use a variety of firearms beyond the pistol she starts with. An especially useful looking one is the Flintlock rifle, which allows Nor to freely aim and snipe targets from further away. It seems to incorporate a Gears of War style timing mechanic on the reload as well. We also saw that Nor can unlock a hand mortar, which allows her to deal a ton
You
of
could
damage
dodge while
with
you're in
a
the
negative
air.
effect explosion. Nor can also use handfuls of gunpowder while exploring or fighting. This allows her to double jump in the air and extend the distance of her dodge. Like Ashen, Flintlock is a
Now look at this
Souls-like. You've
world.
got your bonfire resting points, health potions, rhythmic combat, and several other similarities to From Software's Soulsborne games. However, in designing Flintlock's combat, A44 also took a lot of inspiration from 2018's God of War. Nor's companion, Inky, is basically her Atreus. You control Inky's actions, directing him to stun or distract enemies, buff Nor's attacks, or help Nor move throughout the world. Inky also speaks to Nor, even warning her of coming attacks.
Powerful enemies here, even for you. Best to tread carefully.
A44 art director Robert Bruce describes Nor and
This thing
Inky's
looks so
bond
hard
as
to
a
me,
strong
bro. I don't know why.
companionship or
It's
buddy
so
cop
fire.
situation, saying that the
This
two
is like
have
a
the same
dog,
goal,
fox,
even
goat.
if it is for different reasons. And similar to Kratos and Atreus in God of War, the evolving dynamic between Nor and Inky is at the heart of Flintlock's narrative. Flintlock does not build on Ashen's story, though it does expand on its emphasis in terms of repopulating a fantasy world. As you
She got
push
no
further
guts.
into Flintlock's world and defeat the enemies that have occupied towns and buildings, it will allow life to return to these areas. Similar to the folks who come to reside in Vagrant's Rest and Ashen, it looks like most of the NPCs who re-inhabit these areas don't do much beyond filling the space with life that doesn't want to viciously kill you. The especially helpful characters seem to be a part of your caravan, Flintlock's main hub area that moves throughout your journey. A44 created a new language for Flintlock, which is spoken by the gods that Nor is hunting. The studio worked with linguists to ensure a consistency across the entire language, so if decoding real-world foreign tongues or fictional video game languages is your thing, you may be able to figure out what the gods are yelling
God
at
of
Nor as
knowledge.
she's shooting them in the face.
How many bosses is gonna be in this game?
Flintlock will be
Ain't
an
gonna lie,
open
I'ma
world
probably struggle
game,
with
but
that.
the world will be divided into 3 separate zones. A44 looked to its home country of New Zealand for inspiration when constructing the geography, architecture, plants, and creatures of these 3 zones.
Yuck.
So each one
Bro,
will
those
possess
spiders,
its
bro.
own unique style.
I'm about
The
to
gods
start
that
going
Norse
past my
hunting
son, bro.
inform the world around them, so you can, in turn, look to how each of the 3 zones are built to get hints as to what gods may make their home there. For example, the knightly god of knowledge resides in a tower within Sybil, which is a port city. Sybil is built on an ancient archive and is the center of learning in the world of Flintlock, operating as a hub of
We got some
trade,
lore.
knowledge, and commerce. Flintlock may be an open world that will encourage you to explore
That
novel
ostrich.
directions, but you won't have a mount to speed that along, nor will be forced to walk for most of her adventure, though there will be select narrative moments where
Bro,
she
is there
takes
a map,
alternative
bro?
forms of transport. You can unlock new navigational abilities, though.
I'm
For
spoiled
example,
now
using
'cause of
Enki, Nor can teleport to certain
Elden Ring,
locations
bro.
marked by glowing symbols, allowing her to bypass parts of the world. In the demo we saw,
I don't
one of
think
these glowing symbols
any of
appeared
the
in a place that allowed
Dark
Nor
Souls
to
have
teleport
maps.
over a building and past
I'm-
an area
I'm
she
planning on
completed before,
playing those
allowing her to more
eventually.
quickly return to a tough enemy encounter without going through a gauntlet of foes first. Flintlock has coffee shops, though they aren't manned by the sort of baristas you're used to. The owners of these shops are these multi-armed creatures that actually hold up their own face with one pair of arms, while they use sign language with their other arms to communicate with you and the other patrons. You can visit coffee shops to rest up
What?
and hear gossip that will lead you into new quests.
That's
You can also use
some
these shops
nasty
to
stuff.
fast travel,
They got
allowing you to
arms
return to previously
as they
visited
neck.
zones more quickly. And those were our major takeaways from the preview. For more on Flintlock, be sure to check out GameSpot for a written preview of the game.
Nah, I feel like this ain't. Jesus. This game is gonna be fun. I ain't gonna lie.